Hello, how is everybody today? Today we're going to work on how to make pot roast. The beauty of pot roast, it's very easy to make and you can just prepare it. It might take an hour to prepare and you can put it in the oven or in a crock pot and leave it for the rest of the day to cook. Let's start with ingredients. What do you use? An inexpensive cut of meat like arm roast.
Arm roast.
Yes, chopped arm roast. Onion, carrots, celery, potato. The seasoning are very.
Why don't you tell them how you prepare those things?
I'm gonna get there.
Okay, all right. Seasonings?
The seasoning are the most basic seasoning are salt and pepper, but you can use. I like to use cinnamon, a little bit of cinnamon. It gives it just a nice aroma and flavor. I like to use other things. Liquid can be water, but don't put too much water because meat is about 60% water. And you don't want to use too much water because otherwise you'll drown it. And what you need to do, browning the meat is, I like to do it because it sears the flavors in. And over time, I render some bacon fat to use it. I use beef bacon that they make it for me at the bacon locker. So, and Laura was saying how to cut the vegetables. So the vegetables are here. So let's start with the celery. Celery, you trim it, wash it, use the leaves and all, and just slice it. Nothing special. The carrots, more or less the same thing. Cut them in pieces after washing them. Cut it in half. And always do it on the flat side. That's done. I'm going to pull the meat out because we don't want to cook it there. Going to add a little more fat. In the season, the salt and pepper. I have a little more than just the salt and pepper in my shaker. And a few sprinkles of cinnamon.
So you put the seasoned side down.
Yes. And now going back to preparing the vegetables. The onion, I cut the top end off. Cut it in half, depending on the size of the onion. Peel it. And I have a compost bucket next to me. I drop the If the onion is too small, you start slicing it all right away. Make sure you get rid of the leaves. And you just start slicing. Notice that that particular cut has bone in it with marrow, and that's really important for a better flavor. You don't want boneless meat. The flavor comes quite strongly from the bone. Now this is already seared, so I'm going to take it out, and then I have the potato. I'm going to add a little more fat because I'm going to still saute things. And the potato.
Just wash them first.
Yes, I keep the skin on because the skin has a lot of the vitamin, and I know I can be a bore when I talk about vitamin and nutrition, but that's part of what I do. I make sure every meal I prepare has enough vitamin. And I'm going to toss the potato in the same pan. And I'm going to use my magic seasoned salt.
That's a nifty trick. How long did it take for you to figure out how to be able to flip stuff like that?
Quite a bit of time in the process. I tossed quite a bit of things on the floor and learned from it. You can use, the most difficult thing to use, but the best way to learn, use a cold pan and a slice of cheese and try to flip it back and forth. And that's how you're going to learn. So now the potatoes are done. You don't want them cooked particularly. You're just tossing them in the, and you're going to add a little more fat. And now you're going to have the vegetable. What you're doing when you do the vegetable, and then you're going to use liquid, what we call in the business, deglaze the pan. It's getting all the flavor instead of leaving it in the pan. You'll get it into the food.
You'll notice there are a few that still come out.
Oh yeah. And the other thing that I forgot to mention, you can, but you don't have to use garlic. And I'm trying to remember where I put my garlic. I think it might be in this fridge here. Nope, not this. Right there. Chopped garlic.
Since we're a restaurant, we tend to have pots of that already chopped. It does last for quite some time in the refrigerator. How much? How long?
A few days, 4 to 6 days.
So if you want to chop a bunch at once and then stick it in the fridge,
Yeah.
that sometimes is a helpful thing to have on hand.
And I forgot to bring a bottle opener because my sister's gonna get mad at me if she watches this video. But the little liquid other than just water gives it a different flavor. Some people use red wine, some people use ale, some people use Guinness.
If you're not using alcohol, what should you use?
Water or beef broth.
beef broth.
And I'm done pretty much. And the final stage is trying to get all the flavor, especially of the meat. As you see it. Again, as I said, you don't want to use too much liquid.
So can you not be raising up at the gas? Can you do that? I don't know how to do that, but okay, that's good. All over. So, excuse me, while I'm going. So you can see that the roast itself is buried underneath all of the veggies and potatoes. We'll see if he's going to use up some of the rest of this bacon bits, or bacon fat.
He used a no-stick pan for this one, but
Yeah, but it doesn't really matter.
it doesn't matter.
It's best actually if you use a cast iron pan. So
Then you'll have a little bit of meat stuck to the bottom that you'll need to scrape off, and kind of like when you make gravy.
And just quirkiness, I like to add a little bit of Tabasco sauce.
Note that this is for about 4 pot roasts.
6.
6, okay.
Actually, it's about 20 servings. And I'm going to add a little turmeric. And I'm adding them to the liquid because it's going to get distributed much better. So I'm going to spread the vegetable. And you can add the bacon pieces. It won't hurt the flavor at all. Actually, it will enhance it. Will give it a little smokiness. And now, trying to extract as much of the flavor out of the pan as possible. I'm going to use wax paper to top it off because I'm going to seal it tight with foil. And if you put foil straight on top of that, the acid in the food, which comes from the salt, is going to eat away the foil. Seal it as tight as you can. Of course, if you have a crock pot, you don't need to worry about that. You're going to put all the ingredients, the seasoning. You can put some tomato paste. You can put some tomato juice. You can put whatever you really want. This is going to be served for tomorrow's dinner.
How long would we keep it in there?
And that's all there is. If you have any question, you can always email us at info@relishgrinnell.com. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.